I don't know if you can remember last week I told you about this client who I had arranged to have a kind of Valentine's Day date with. I mean, not a date, it was a session. But I have a soft spot for this person. And, you know, she's going through a breakup, and I thought, well, I'd like to be there to help her, obviously. And what better day to help her going through this breakup than Valentine's Day, right?
The wind is blowing, blowing over the grass. It shakes the willow catkins. The leaves shine silver. Where are you going, wind? Far, far away, over the hills, over the edge of the world. Take me with you, wind, high over the sky. I will go with you. I will be rabbit of the wind. Into the sky, the feathery sky, and the rabbit.
Anyway. Yeah, so you didn't really ask about that session, did you? No, you're not that kind of type to ask, to poke your nose into things. But yeah, it was fine. It was fine. It was just a therapy session. But anyway, today, completely different session. She fesses up that although, yeah, it was a painful breakup and 6-year relationship, she's basically fallen in love with this guy that she did some, I don't know, worked with on some polling station social initiative. And she met this guy and she fell in love with this guy. And she's actually doing pretty good. She's doing pretty good.
The stream is running, running over the gravel, through the brooklime, the kingcups, the blue and gold of spring. Where are you going, stream? Far, far away, beyond the heather, sliding away all night. Take me with you, stream, away in the starlight. I will go with you. I will be rabbit of the stream, down through the water, the green water, and the rabbit.
Oh, you're actually listening to me. I mean, I feel like you are talking to me, but are you listening to what I'm saying? Aren't you going to ask me a question like, I don't know, like, did that kind of kill your romantic fantasies? Something like that. Aren't you going to ask me that question?
In autumn, the leaves come blowing, yellow and brown. They rustle in the ditches. They tug and hang on the hedge. Where are you going, leaves? Far, far away. Into the earth we go with the rain and the berries. Take me, leaves, oh, take me on your dark journey. I will go with you. I will be rabbit of the leaves, in the deep places of the earth and the rabbit.
So what are you saying? This reminds me of my own mortality in a way, and maybe the recognition that, you know, why am I even having this fantasy about this fairly youthful creature being interested in someone like me?
Frith lies in the evening sky. The clouds are red about him. I am here, Lord Frith. I am running through the long grass. Oh, take me with you, dropping behind the woods, far away to the heart of the light, the silence. For I am ready to give you my breath, my life, the shining circle of the sun and the rabbit.
So who's the rabbit? Am I the rabbit? Is she the rabbit? Who's the rabbit?
Hazel? Oh, Hazel, this is where it comes from. I know now. A terrible thing is coming.
What do you mean?
Look. The field. field. It's covered with blood.
Blood? Don't be silly.
Oh, hello. In Watership Down, a group of rabbits is forced to leave their warren at Sandleford and set out on a long and dangerous journey to find a new home. Along the way, they face many challenges, not just from predators and men, but also from other rabbits. One warren that they come across is unlike any that they've ever seen. Its rabbits live in comfort, yet there is something strange about them, something that feels wrong. They've given up the old ways and speak of the world in a quiet, eerie manner. Their fatalistic poet, perhaps even a kind of shaman figure, a rabbit called Silverweed, puts their thoughts into verse, filling the travellers with a sense of unease that they can't really seem to shake. I felt a similar sense of unease, a good unease, after hearing Sister M recite this poem to me the other evening. It's a poem about yearning, the yearning to live more profoundly, more awake, with greater intensity and truth, made even sharper by the recognition that we are dying, or rather that we will never be as young again as we are now, and that if our now, whatever it is, feels, I don't know, a little bit stultifying or diminished in some way, then we are in effect denying ourselves life, even if we're not yet sure how to allow ourselves more of this thing called life. And this, of course, is one of our core existential paradoxes, that the very security we seek often dulls the life it is meant to protect. Sickness unto death, the despair of a self that is not quite itself, suffocating under its own careful choices, etc. And thus many of us, maybe all of us in some way, are the rabbits of Silverweed's warren who trade in a certain kind of precarious, feral freedom for safety, believing we are wise when perhaps we're only just resigned. Forgetfulness of being is how a philosopher might put it, where the world is flattened into utility and we forget that to live is not merely to survive, but to dwell, to participate in the great unfolding of everything, whatever that means. Nature is, of course, always fully, one might even say resplendently itself. The leaves shine silver in certain casts of light. The blue and gold of spring emerge in quiet brilliance. The sky feathers over with clouds and starlight is reflected in the waters of a silent stream. When our human lives feel dull or deadened in some way, it stands to reason that we may want to decomplexify or unravel them, sort of dissolve ourselves into nature and become children again, or even, as in this poem, one of the elements, wind, water, earth, sky, or perhaps a rabbit scurrying across a field to shelter. Silverweed's yearning is not just for life, it's also for a kind of surrender, an escape from the burden of being itself. Freud called this longing the death drive, that pull towards dissolution, towards release from the endless effort of maintaining selfhood, which is often a suffering form of selfhood. Silverweed is not just the name of this poet, it also signifies the snares hidden around the warren, planted like silver weeds. What appears as a longing for transcendence may in fact be the voice of passive despair, the acceptance of inevitable death wrapped in poetic fatalism. Frith, in other words, the sun's red clouds, are perhaps not a celestial vision, but the spilled blood of the trapped, gored animal, the Christ rabbit facing its end. The shining circle of the sun, the metallic teeth of the snare. This frith is not necessarily the life-giving ball of fire, but a false god of death, an illusion that sanctifies surrender. Why might the stream running over the gravel, the wind blowing over the grass, the leaves crumbling into the earth or the sun setting behind the woods evoke such a sweet ache of yearning and dissolution in us. Take me with you, wind, high over the sky, Silverweed cries out. Take me with you, stream, away in the starlight. Take me, leaves, oh, take me on your dark journey. For I am ready to give you my breath, my life, the shining circle of the sun and the rabbit. This is, of course, a longing for the sublime from our sort of mundane entrenchment. Also, a longing for the sweet thing of eros, of kenosis, that theological term denoting the desire to pour oneself out into something greater than, the bounded self, this sort of trembling eye that clings to its own edges, clings to its ego cage. Or also the Stoics' ataraxia, that yearning for unshaken tranquility, a release from the turbulence of desire, so as to be carried beyond ourselves, to be swept up into something vaster and more elemental than, again, the rickety ego cage strung together with words and ideas and content creation. Often communicating as a form of attention seeking, a bid for views and likes, for love, we might say. For love, or at least the feeling of it. There is an ontological homelessness in this, a sort of sense of not belonging in the way that wind, water, leaves and sun seem to belong. The sense that they know something we have seemingly forgotten, or that they are simply free in a way that we can never be. Or perhaps it is that we have drawn an artificial line between ourselves and nature, when in truth we are as much the wind, the water, the leaves and the sun as anything else. I don't know, I'm not quite there yet, but trying to get there, So I wanted to ask the I Ching today, that sort of symbolic matrix, of course, formed out of all of these elemental trigrams, heaven, earth, thunder, water, mountain, wind, fire and lake. I wanted to put to it Silverweed's yearning poem and ask how I too might find the freedom of the wind this weekend, the flow of the stream, the surrender of the leaves, and the radiance of the sun, which seem somewhat unattainable at present. So I'm going to throw some coins. We'll see what trigrams and hexagrams get generated, and then I'll hand things over to Jeremy for the divination. You're good with that, Jeremy? Yeah?
More than happy to do that for you, Steve.
Thanks, buddy. Okay, let's do it. Okay, let's brew up a little bit more Teguan Yin for myself and Jeremy, as I'm pretty ooh for the oolong at the moment. So Jeremy is one of my orphans, I guess. I found him in a dumpster, didn't I, Jeremy? Yeah. And I've actually noticed this morning that the person who once owned him didn't even remove the tag that was stamped into his head, and obviously that's how they found him, sort of hanging on a hook. So we're going to remove that today, because that must feel a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah, buddy. And also, so Jeremy was made by an American company, and they decided that Jeremy is an ugly doll. There we go, it's the ugly dolls. Really? I think super cute, super cute. So we're going to remove this tag as well. We're de-tagging you today, Jezza. You don't deserve the ugly doll fixed to your bottom. Oops, forgot about the oolong. Okay, here we go. Ready to throw some coins. Have I overbrewed the oolong? Oh dear, mayhem ensues, Jeremy. You can't do the yi without some tea, right? It's strong, but it's still good. Okay, here we go. Here we go, Jez. Let's throw the coins. Let's throw the coins, buddy. Okay, so the hexagrams are in, and this is what we got. We got mountain over lake. As you can see, there's lots of moving lines there, so obviously that will transform into another couple of trigrams and also another hexagram. But essentially, mountain over lake, hexagram 41, decrease, and then also that then transforms into the cauldron, fire over wind or fire over wood, hexagram 50. Can you do something with that, Jeremy?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Wonderful. Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, Steve, let's start with those initial 2 trigrams, mountain over lake. Mountain, Jen, above lake, Dewey, suggests a dynamic of containment and reduction, of one thing diminishing to nourish another thing. The mountain stills and contains the lake's natural movement, which can be seen as an image of diminished energy, curtailed expression, or the loss of something vital. This, of course, is the paradox of security versus surrender, of what is held back versus what might be released. This aligns very deeply with Silverweed's warren, a place of eerie peace, right? Bought at the cost of vitality. The rabbits there are contained, alive, but only insofar as they have traded precarious wild freedom for a sort of comfort and inevitability. Decrease is not inherently negative. It is the necessary reduction of something to strengthen something else. To let go, to surrender something, is sometimes the only way to regain what is real. Your situation is one of constrained energy, of feeling too enmeshed in these human concerns like selfhood, communication, the pursuit of recognition, while yearning at the same time for something freer, something more elemental. This is Silverweed's dilemma too. His longing is not merely for life, but for a kind of obliteration of self that is, paradoxically, too complete. His surrender is to an illusion. Each of the moving lines in the hexagram you were given shifts the energy of decrease, pointing toward a sort of transmutation, leading ultimately to hexagram 50, the cauldron, fire over wind or fire over wood. So, for example, the first line, right, which was a yin transforming to a yang, renders the judgment decreasing what is inferior, increasing what is worthy. This line urges you to cut away what is unnecessary or self-defeating, perhaps, I don't know, the burden of seeking validation in the human sphere with, views and likes and recognition and all that. This is not the surrender of Silverweed, but a sort of conscious distillation, reducing entanglements that do not serve the essence of what you're trying to do. In other words, let go. Just let go of what dilutes the truth of your being. Reduce the noise. The world will not reward this, but it is the only way forward. The third line, yang to yin, here the pronouncement is 3 people journey together, but one must leave. One journeys alone and finds companionship. This, I think, is a key line in your reading, Steve. It speaks to a break in collective illusions, a sort of necessary severance. The implication is that some of what you have been immersed in, perhaps certain structures or relationships or even aspects of identity, these must be shared, the way the wild rabbits of Watership Down instinctively recognize the false peace of Silverweed's warren, and so they depart. The phrase, one journeys alone and finds companionship, suggests that through leaving behind what is illusory, real connection arises from this, not with the masses, but with what is authentic. The real world, the real wind, the real stream are waiting for you, but only for those of us willing to walk away from the artificial. Okay, fourth line, yang to yin, decreasing the self in service of the greater. Right, so this line transforms the theme of decrease into a sort of sacred act. It suggests that a letting go is not resignation, but consecration, an echo of what you were talking about, kenosis, this theological emptying of the self in service of something greater than that. This is not Silverweed's death drive, it's not an embrace of despair, but the kind of sacrifice that transforms rather than annihilates. So this line is calling for a radical shift in how you approach your work, how you approach your identity. If the ego cage is truly a cage, well, perhaps it's time to burn it down. I know that's impossible, but, how to do this, not with nihilism, but maybe a certain kind of clarity. Okay, so let's look at hexagram 50 now, which is the cauldron, fire over wind or fire over wood. So fire above, okay, above wind, above wood. This forms the image of the cauldron, a sort of alchemical vessel in which base elements are transformed into something sacred. The fire consumes, but it does not destroy, it refines. The wind carries messages, breath, spirit. It represents transmission, inspiration, the unseen forces that move things. This is where your reading shifts entirely, Steve. If decrease was the realization of what needs to be let go of, the cauldron is the act of turning what remains into something sacred. Silverweed's trap is a sort of false transcendence, right? It's poetic surrender into nothingness. But the cauldron is real transformation. The cauldron takes longing, it turns it into something lasting. You've been asking how to find the freedom of wind, the flow of the stream, the surrender of the leaves, the radiance of the sun. The answer lies not in abandoning the self, but in kind of refining it. The fire here is not just destruction, but the sort of energy of illumination, of purification. The wind, the wood, it's not just movement, it's breath, it's inspiration, it's the life force itself. And together, these create something new, something sustaining. If Silverweed's surrender is to the snare, the cauldron is the opposite of this. It is the fire of transformation, of burning away the inessential until only what matters remains. So, to bring all of this together, we might say that the true path is neither despair nor disappearance. Your original query to the Yi was how to find the freedom of wind, the flow of the stream, the surrender of the leaves, the radiance of the sun. And the Yi says, decrease what is unnecessary, burn away the false, refine the raw material of your longing into something real. This reading then aligns with the core dilemma of Silverweed's Warren. Two ways to respond to the existential paradox. One, to resign, to fade, to poetically embrace the snare. The other, to endure the fire, to undergo the alchemy, to emerge sort of transformed. Silverweed would have been the poet of hexagram 41, decrease, but El Iraira, the trickster hero of Watership Down, he would have belonged to hexagram 50, the cauldron. And this is your choice, not vanishing, not ceasing, not surrendering to the illusion of beauty, but, turning the ache of longing into a kind of vessel, something that holds and transmutes, something that lasts. So, let the wind carry your voice, but do not let it scatter you. Let the stream take you, but do not drown. Let the leaves fall, but only to fertilize the earth. And let the sun shine upon you, but do not mistake its brightness for an invitation to burn out. Your longing is not a call to disappear. It is a call to create. And that is what the cauldron is. Burn what does not serve, and keep what is true. Let the vessel hold what remains.
That's a really great divination. Thank you, buddy.
As the Spirit was moving over the water, Spirit, come move over us. Come rest on us. Come rest on us. As the Spirit was moving over the water, Spirit, come move over us. Come rest on us. Come rest on us. So come down, Spirit, when you move, you make my heart pound. When you fill the room, you're here and I know you are moving. I'm here and I know you will feel me. Come down, Spirit, when you move, you make my heart pound. When you fill the room, you're here and I know you are moving. I'm here and I know you will feel me. Fire and wind, come and do it again. Open up the gates, let heaven on and go. Come rest on, won't you come? Come rest on. I feel the fire, fire and wind, come and do it again. Open up the gates, let heaven on and come rest on. Come rest on us. So come down, Spirit, when you move, you make my heart pound. When you fill the room, you're here and I know you are moving. I'm here and I know you will fill me. Come down, Spirit, when you move, you make my heart pound. When you fill the room, you're here and I know you are moving. I'm here and I know you will fill me. Won't you fill me afresh? Holy Spirit, come rest on us. You're all we want. You're all we want. Holy Spirit, come rest on us. You're all we want. You're all we want. Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, come rest on us. You're all we want. Yeah, you're all we want. Hey, Holy Spirit, come rest on us. You're all we want. You're all we want. So come down, Spirit, when you move, you make my heart pound. When you fill the room, you're here and I know you are moving. I'm here and I know you will fill me. Come down, Spirit, when you move, you make my heart pound. When you fill the room, you're here and hey, won't you come down, come down, come down. Spirit, when you move, you make my heart. When you fill the room, you're here and I know you are moving. I'm here and I know you will fill me. 'Cause you love to meet us here. Hey, baptize us afresh tonight.